Hello everyone and welcome to the YouTube channel of BeingACCA. This is Tushita Gupta, ACCA affiliate, and in this video we're going to be solving the question number 1 from section C of the PM pre-September 2023 mock. So let's get started. The name of the question is Hottcule Company. So I can see from the requirement that this is a transfer pricing question. Let's first go through the requirement. This is a 9-mark requirement. Under the current transfer pricing system, prepare a profit statement showing the profit for each division and for Hottcule Company as a whole. Your sales and costs figures should be split into external sales and internal divisional sales as appropriate. Okay, so we need to prepare the profit statement. So let's put our heading. So this is Hottcule Company. Hottcule Company, and we are preparing their profit statement. Right. So I will be needing 3 columns over here. First of all, I need to be showing for their first division, which is air. Secondly, for their power division, I can see the names of the divisions from here, air, power. And then the third column will be about Hottcule Company as a whole, because as my requirement, I have to show it for both individually as well as for the company as a whole. So now I have my divisions with me. Let's read the scenario first. Hottcule Company manufactures products relating to temperature control in buildings. It has 2 divisions, Hottcule Air and Hottcule Power. The air division specializes in air conditioning systems. Its systems use a motor that the air division is required to obtain from the power division. The power division is required to give priority to meeting the demand by the air division, but once it has done that, it can sell its remaining production of motors externally. The following data is also available. So for air, the selling price per each air conditioning unit is $400. We have the cost per unit. So motor from power division we are buying. This is for $100. Other material, labor, annual fixed overheads, annual sales and production for air conditioning units. For the power division, we have a selling price per motor of $100. This is on the full cost basis. Selling price per motor to external customers is $140. So since air division is a division in the same company, we are providing them at the full cost that it is costing $100 for the power division, and that is the price that they are charging from the air division. So cost per unit 45, labor okay, distribution, external sales only, annual fixed overheads, current annual production capacity for motors is 250,000, and the maximum annual external demand for motors is 230,000. Hottcule Company's board needs to resolve a disagreement between the 2 divisions. The managing director of Hottcule Company's power division believes that the transfer price of $100 distorts measurement of his division's performance. He believes that the sale price of motors to the air division should be the same as to external customers. However, the managing director of the air division believes that she should be able to buy motors from an external foreign supplier at $125 if she is charged $140 by the power division. So they are both having a departmental conflict, interdepartmental conflict. Power division says that we should be, selling to air division at the same price of 140. And now the manager of air division is saying that instead of buying it at 140 from this division, I will rather source it from outside the company for $125. Now, Hottcule Company's board wishes to assess the profitability of the current arrangements and how much profits would change if the air division bought all the motors it needed externally and the power division sold all its production to external customers. So first of all, in this scenario, the first requirement wants us to evaluate the current situation, right? So under the current transfer pricing system, we have to find out our answer. So I've highlighted this as well. We can broaden this cell a little bit, right? So profit statement, and this is for the current scenario. I can write over here that this is the current situation, right? This is our current situation. Right. So let's first get started. First of all, what do we say in our profit statement? The first thing is sales. So how are we going to write about sales? First of all, how much is the division selling externally? Let's first find out the external sales. So the external sales are nothing but we are selling how much externally? We are selling 120,000, and for this 120,000 our selling price is $400. So I will just multiply this over here, $400 multiplied by 120,000, which is my external sales, right? So I will have to broaden the cells a little bit, right? So then I will see for the power division. So for the power division, they are selling 140, and the external demand for motors is 230,000. However, first of all, they are selling it to us, to the air division. So their maximum capacity is 250,000, and out of those 250, 120 they are selling to the air division, which they are selling at $100, and the remaining 250,000 minus 120,000, which will come out to be 130,000, that is what they are selling to your external customers. So first of all, in the first column, we are writing about the external sales. So as for the power division, they are only selling the difference. So this is 250,000 subtracted 120,000, because 120 is their internal sales, and this will be shown in the second column, and this they are selling it at 140. So this is the value that they are selling externally, and the sum of these two will give me the total external sales for Hottcule company, right? So with this, I have my total value for the company as a whole also. Now let's go for the internal sales. As for the internal sales, the power division is selling the air division how much? They are selling 120,000 units, 120,000 multiplied by at what price? They are selling it at a price of $100. So multiply this by 100, and this is what their internal sales comes out to be. So now I can find out the total sales by adding these two columns over here. This will be the sum of these, right? So I can just copy the formula right over here and right over here. We will total this over here also. So this can be written as copy pasted, and this is the total values that we are getting for their total sales over here. Actually, the sum is already included over here, so this will be double counting, right? So we are done with this portion. Now let's have a look at the purchases element, the cost that we are making, as well as the internal transfers. So let's have a look at the variable costs first of all. So how much are the variable costs that each of the divisions are incurring? So with regards to the external material and internal material, we will separate it because that is what our question has demanded from us. So external material is nothing but for the air division, they are selling 120,000 units. This is 120,000 units, and multiply this by their materials, which is 70. So this is something that they are buying externally. So this comes out to be 8,400,000. Then I have similarly for my power division, I am externally buying $45 worth of material, and my total production is 250,000. So 250,000 multiplied by $40. So this is how much is my external material cost. So 250,000 multiplied by, sorry, this is 45. Right. So I can just total these up. I can simply copy the formula and paste it over here. And I have my total external material costs. Now let's talk about internal material. Internal material is something that that the power division is selling to your air division. So air division is going to be responsible for these costs. And how much is this? They are buying it at a cost of 100, and they are buying 120,000 units. So 120,000 multiplied by 100 will give you their purchases. You can see that their sales value and their purchases value is nothing but the same because they are buying and selling from each other, right? Now let's talk about labor. So with regards to labor, first of all, we have 120,000 units for this department and $80 of labor per unit. So 80 multiplied by 120,000. Then I have my for this department, the power department, this is going to be 250,000 units is the total that they are producing. 250,000, right? And then multiply this by the labor cost of $40, right? So this comes out to be 10,000. And then I can add all of these figures together. And with this, I will have my labor costs also. So yeah, this is the sum. Then I have my distribution costs. Distribution for the air division is no cost. Then I have for my power division only for my external sales. Now, how much is my external sales? My external sales is 250,000 minus 120,000. And then how much is it per unit? It is $5 per unit. So this comes out to be my distribution cost. Similarly, I can paste the formula over here. No, this is the formula and right. So distribution costs we have arrived at, and then we can total all these up, total variable costs, and this can be the sum of all of these, right? And this can be copy pasted for this division as well. And then the total variable costs will be the sum of this and this. So with this, we have our total variable costs also with us. Did we happen to put an extra zero in some place? This is 30,000, 2190, 0 and 1000. Okay, so the total variable costs will be the sum of this over here. Right. Now, let's go to the next thing that we have. The next thing that we have is our contribution. So the contribution is nothing but the difference between your sales minus your variable costs. So this is the contribution for your air division. Similarly, this is the contribution for your power division also. I have just copied this and pasting this over here, the same formula. And again, for the total company as a whole, sales minus variable costs is this figure. Now we have arrived at our contribution. Now we just have to subtract our fixed costs. So the fixed costs are given to us for each of the departments, and this is 6,200,000, right? And then we have 3750, 3750,000, right? And the total will be nothing but the sum of these two, right? This is the sum of the total fixed costs for the entire company as a whole. And then we have arrived at our profits. So the profits will be contribution plus your fixed cost. I am adding this because my fixed costs are already put in a minus sign. And I will just copy these formula over here. And then again, this will be same for this plus this. And then this is the total that we have obtained for each of these divisions. Now, in order to beautify this, you can also format and put a table over here. Just select the cells, go till the very bottom, and you can go to format, cells, then go to border, then select any of these styles, then select these horizontal, vertical, and click on OK. And with this, your data has been put into a beautiful table over here, right? And we can also format the numbers so that they look a little more good to read, right? So these are our numbers. Wait. So these can be formatted into currency maybe if you want. So any currency format you can choose. So this will ideally be taking more of your space, and that is why this will have to be, increased the size of your columns. Right. So similarly, this can be applied to your entire table and it will make your answer look neater. So let's move on to the next part that we have. This is part 2. So in part 2, what do we have to do is calculate the change in profit if all the power division sales were made to external customers and the air division purchased all of its motors externally, and assess whether this situation represents the optimal outcome for Hottcule company. So let's see what will be the impact on this thing. So let's have a look. We have the power division was earlier selling 230,000. No, they have a maximum annual external demand for 230,000 motors. So they will be selling these many motors externally. So earlier they were only selling how much they were selling to the external markets. They were only selling the difference between 250,000 minus 120,000 externally in the market. So they were only selling 130,000. Now they will be selling 230,000. So how much is this more? Now we'll be selling 230,000, right? So the difference between the two is the extra that we will be selling now, which is 100,000 units. So that means we will be selling 100,000 more than the previous. However, the power division's total sales would now be 20,000 less than before, because earlier they were operating at their full capacity of 250,000, but now they will only be selling 230,000. This is their total sales, right? So let's work out this calculation. First of all, let's see the increase in external revenue, sales revenue, and this is for the power division because they are the ones who are going to be selling the external motors, right? So for power division, my apologies. Right. So this will be nothing but 100,000 because that is the increase. So I can just link it to this cell also, multiplied by how much is my selling price externally? 140. So now I will be selling these many more externally, right? Excuse me. Then the next thing that we have is the savings in our material and labor cost. Since we are producing 20,000 units lesser, right? So we are saving 20,000 units, 20,000 units. And how much is the cost that we are saving on them? We used to spend 45 plus 40 on our labor and materials. So this is something that we will no longer be incurring. Now let's have additional distribution costs, because earlier we were selling 130,000 units internally. So these were at no distribution cost, but now these will also be sold externally. So my additional distribution cost will also apply to these 100,000 units, which will be multiplied by 5 because that is the price per unit. So this should rather be shown as a negative figure because this is the extra cost. These are all inflows so far, the first two figures. Then we have our additional external motor costs, right? Because now the air department is going to be purchasing all its motors externally. And how many is the number of, they need 120,000 motors and they will be buying this at 125, right? So this will be 125 multiplied by 120,000, and this is again a negative figure because this is something extra that the company is spending. So let's net these costs out, costs and benefits. So this is the net result. We are earning 200,000 positive from this. Now this saving is occurring because power is now producing 230,000 and not 250,000 motors, right? So we have our answer as 200,000 increase. But if we look at the company's point of view, for entire Hottcule company as a whole, the power division has a spare capacity of 20,000 units because it is only selling 230,000 units, whereas it can sell 250,000 units, right? So if the power division sells these 20,000 units to the air division at a price below $125 but above the variable cost of $85, so their variable cost is definitely 45 plus 40. So this is 45 plus 40, which means that they have a variable cost of $85. And if they are, selling these 20,000 units at a price that is lesser than 125, because 125 is something that they are getting externally. So if they charge a price between above 85 and less than 125, this will be more beneficial for the company. Profits of both the divisions would increase, and Hotcule's overall profit will further increase. Now, how will this increase? We can find the further increase in profit. Further increase in profit will be, now there is a difference of 20,000 units. Now on these 25,000 units, 125 is the amount which you otherwise have had to pay. And now you are internally, when you are making it, the variable cost is nothing but $85. So this is the additional 800,000 is the additional increase in profit that can be earned by Hottcule company if, the power division sells the remaining capacity of 20,000 units internally to air division. So I hope this question is clear. Moving on to the last part for this question. This is a discursive part, and it wants us to evaluate the problems of allowing the divisions to negotiate the transfer price rather than have the transfer price imposed by senior management. Now we have to list down a few problems where we have to where we are allowing negotiation between these managers for the transfer price. So what are the difficulties that can arise? So the number one difficulty that we can have, that the actual transfer price may be determined by the relative strength and negotiating abilities of the two divisions. So negotiating abilities and strengths. Now, what does this mean? This means that, for example, take this example that maybe the manager of the air division has an upper hand. So the power division holds out for a price close to $125. The power division will want to charge them a price closer to 125 because this is something that they are getting from external, right? And the air division will, threaten them to buy externally. So they will have, a higher chances that they will be negotiating a price lower than 125 from the power division. So this is one of the things that one of the problems that can be faced if this is left to negotiation. Another problem is that it may be possible to establish a transfer price by negotiation. However, when you establish a price, when this price is established, maybe this is not a rational price. What do we mean by that? Maybe this is a price such that, it satisfies these managers, but maybe this is not good for the company as a whole. So if there are negotiations, there will definitely be time consumption, time consuming. The managers will be spending the time fighting with each other, and they may also lead to wastage of board's time, wastage of board of directors' time, right? The next problem that can be faced over here is that whatever the negotiated price will be, maybe the power division's management will be unhappy because air is paying less than the market price, because the market price is 125, or the power division is already selling 140 externally. So they would not want to settle for a price lower than this. And maybe because of this, the managers will feel that their performance is not being measured correctly. Managers may be satisfied with the way performance is measured. Another problem that you can tell over here is that when you are leaving the transfer price to negotiation, maybe there is a problem with the delays and so many problems that lead to difficulty in your ultimate objective, which is nothing but maximization of your shareholder wealth. So maximization of shareholder wealth may be difficult, and since there is no goal congruence. What do we mean by goal congruence? That the goals of different people in the organization are combined, they are similar, but when there is such a difference in the goals that the people have, so this is how this can cause problems with achieving the maximization of shareholder wealth also. So if you do write 2 to 3 points over here, which are well explained, they will be enough to fetch you 4 marks. Right? So even if you write 4 points, that would be good. But just in case you only come up with 2 to 3 points, just make sure that you are explaining them in sufficient detail for the examiner to award you marks for the same. Thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned for the next video. In the next video, we're going to be solving the second question of section C, which is the last question for this mock. Thank you for watching.